Alright, welcome to Takoyaki Party.
Welcome.
I'm Osaka Joe. I'm joined by... What's your name? DJ
What is my
Soymel.
name? What is my name? After all these weeks?
I just woke up, alright? Hold on.
This is episode 7 and Joe's just learning my name.
And stuff. I just woke up.
Yeah, I know.
Life is hard because we were supposed to do this an hour ago.
Well, you were asleep an hour ago.
No, because I was sleeping because I was waiting for you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting for you. Anyway, welcome back.
Alright, we're Takoyaki Party, your NMB podcast. We talk about NMB and what's going on with NMB. Informing the international community. That sounds so cool. Like, hey man, we're informing people.
We're informing people.
We're dropping them.
Dropping the knowledge bombs.
So, yeah, so we're informing the international community about NMB, and stuff. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh,
I was telling them about my day. Do you want to hear about my day?
Alright, let's hear about your day.
I have to work on group projects. I thought I was done with those in high school, but they came back.
Oh yeah, then you never finish. And then then work is one gigantic group project.
Oh no! Speaking of groups,
What?
and then, I was gonna do like a cool transition to NMB, but it flopped. Anyway, how was your day?
Oh, it's terrible. I have a headache.
I'm sorry.
I haven't packed for my trip and I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
I think and my room's a mess, and then I was supposed to do some subtitling that I'm never gonna get around to, which makes me feel so bad.
Don't feel bad. There's a whole team.
And then I didn't win my 4th anniversary tickets.
Oh.
And then I missed the MPO application for Team N. So,
Oh.
I don't know. Things not going good.
What about other teams? Other shows?
I really wanted to see N. Like, I don't know. I like N the most.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the most unexplored of all the teams. Anyway, that's how I've been. They're not very good. Oh, I went to my nephew's first birthday party.
Aww.
And it was supposed to be Disney Hawaiian themed, so like Lilo and Stitch. So you're supposed to come in something that was either Hawaiian themed or Disney themed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I'd be clever, so I came as Darth Vader.
What?
Because Disney owns Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, no one dressed up as a Disney character except for me and my youngest brother.
Oh no.
And his girlfriend. So basically everybody had a Hawaiian shirt on, and I just come through the door dressed as Darth Vader. That's kind of weird.
Oh man.
Anyway, let's get to the show. Corrections from last show. I don't think we have any.
No, we're just pretty awesome. Oh, but then we did see people commenting on Stage 48 that it sounded like we were giving Momoka too much credit for Team M's personality. We don't really think that. I mean, we think everybody in M contributes. So, sorry if it sounded like that, but Momoka is obviously a really big factor.
I mean, it can go either way. It would be a debate, and then I don't even know, who cares who wins the debate anyway? It's like, fine, Momoko's not responsible. Okay, then what? It's the same Team M,
Yeah.
Team M, they're known for being like really noisy and loud. It's not necessarily crazy. They're just loud. Like if they keep saying if you walk by their dressing room or something, like M is super loud and everyone tells them to shut up. So I don't know.
Cool.
We'll just leave it at that. Alright, so let's move on to our first section, Tegami Totande, where we read letters based on the theme that we presented last week. Yeah, we got a Gmail.
Yeah, we did get. Well, first of all, last week's theme was who's your favorite Kinkyusei?
Yeah.
Let's mention that.
I forgot to get the Gmail open.
I got that. DJ Soymilk is on. Oh shoot, never mind. I don't got that. It's not loading.
Alright, let me pull that up.
Anyway.
I thought it was funny because what's up?
Sorry, like the sound blocked out. I couldn't hear you for a sec.
Okay. One thing I thought that was funny, right, is that the theme of our last the parody picture that we always post with our video was Mean Girls, right?
Right.
So we got an email from this guy named Aaron.
We did?
Huh?
Sorry.
We got.
I didn't. Go.
was gonna say we got an email from this guy named Aaron, and his email address is Samuels 0888, and I'm like, huh, Aaron Samuels, huh?
Oh my goodness! I did not even notice
I
that.
thought that was really that was like the biggest coincidence of all time.
Oh my
Like,
gosh!
shout out to Mean Girls fans out there.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna tell me that one of the emails was good job on the Mean Girls pun because I'm super proud of that. That's the pun I'm most proud of in our history of Takoyaki Party. Seriously. Okay, for anybody who didn't get it, the movie is called Mean Girls, and all the girls whose faces I pasted over the characters have a nickname that ends with the sound mean. So Konomin, no, not Konomin, Megumin, Ruru,
You mean?
You mean? Oh shoot!
I forget the other person.
Oh, it wasn't it Natsumin?
Yeah.
It was
Okay,
Natsumin.
there you go.
I mix up the means and the reens. So like Anyway,
And we
so,
said Megumin, right?
yeah, I said Megumin.
Okay, so
So I'm very proud of that pun.
so this email from Aaron Samuels. It was really short. Just says my favorite Kenkyusei is Matsumura Megumi. I like her singing in Kinjirata Futari.
Agreed. She's cool. She has a nice voice.
Yeah, when I first started watching the Kenkyusei stages, or actually just stages in general, she was one of the ones that stuck out to me because there's her singing, and like she had like this leader aura. I'm always like the leader types.
Oh, yeah. Just looking at her, she seems mature somehow. There's something about her appearance it seems like older and wiser or something like that. Well, she is one of the older ones, right?
Yeah. She
Yeah.
seems very calm
Yeah.
and collected.
So, good choice. We got a lot of comments this time. I think this was one of the most comments we've had.
Well, usually I've been really lazy, and so when people posted comments on the thread on stage, like I never read it, because I'd be like, oh, they're just talking to me. I'm like, oh, maybe I should read them on air.
Oh, okay. So let's read some of the stage comments.
Well,
or
there's our
YouTube.
our YouTube
We do have a YouTube comment from Miyuki Love. I love Miyuki too. Miyuki Love says, I would pick all of the current Kenkyusei, but I'm going to say my favorite is Natsu because she's super cute. Also, I love her singing, and she's also Milky's new lolly favorite. I agree, Natsu is super cute, and I also love her singing, and she's also my favorite. So good taste, Miyuki Love.
Yeah,
they're all great. They're all great.
The Milky Natsu relationship is kind of creepy, but
It is. Well, it's like I don't know. I think it's a joke.
I mean everything's a joke.
Well, yeah, but it's interesting.
I just like when she talks about her, like she starts like losing her composure in her words, and it's just like, man, she's got something going on. I don't know what it is.
That's funny. Didn't Milky write the letter for Natsu's birthday stage?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But whenever Natsu appears in a B2 stage, Milky just goes crazy over her. Like she'll use her introduction just to talk about Natsu and stuff like that. It's pretty awkward. I think it's awkward, but obviously people think it's really cute. So, all right, now we can move on to stage 48 comments.
Yay.
I guess I'll start. Timion says, I like Yamarina the most. She has a great voice, is good and dedicated in dancing, and despite her shortness, has a charismatic presence on stage. She also can cook, is kind of a leader figure for the Kenkyusei together with Joe, and can be quite funny with her sudden, energetic outbursts.
Yes.
Well, that's it.
That's
all you have to say.
That's a very accurate description of Yamarina. If anybody doesn't know her, Timion kind of hit the nail on the head.
I forgot who kept calling her fake lolly. Maybe it was somebody. Maybe it was
who was it?
MC Sadanon or something. I don't think she's fake. She's just small. That's not fair.
But by like fake lolly, I stuttered. Like fake lolly, I think she means more along the lines of Yamarina's old, but she looks really young.
Yeah, I mean.
And by old, I mean 18.
I think she's 19. I don't know.
Really? Oh,
something like that. Anyway, it's not fair. She's just short. Why you gotta be prejudiced against short people?
You're not short. You made it sound like you have like a personal.
Not
grudge.
Me. Wait, what?
Sorry, the way that you said it reminded me of short people who are like kind of bitter about their shortness, but you're not short, so it seemed odd coming from you.
Yeah, well, white knighting for short people.
Oh no.
No, she's cool. I like her. She always seems to be second to Joe, I guess, for some reason. It used to be Natsu. I don't know why Natsu was pushed down so far. But I mean, when I see like their performances, it always seems like Joe and Yamarina like together.
Yeah, and then there was that picture of them hugging and crying, and oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Want
Next,
to read the next
sure.
comment?
Satchan says, there are a lot of reasons why Yamarina is my favorite Kenkyusei as well. Ha! Good ordering. She also, she also gets bonus points for being able to put up with Miori rolling around on the floor for 10 minutes when they play that Doki Doki Crash Mannequin game. Oh man, yeah. Oh, that reminds me of Miorina, well, that is Miorina, but anyway, our friend really likes Miorina, so I watched all of them too. Sorry, continues. And honestly, I just really like her. Even beyond Kenkyusei, there's only one member I like more than her, period. Should we talk about Yamarina more?
No, keep going.
Okay, sorry. I also really like Ruririne. 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 I find her pretty peculiar, and I've mentioned before elsewhere, but I really like her. Plus, her whole Ikemen thing at the handshake event this weekend was really great. I agree. Reina is a shot up there for me as well. Like Joe mentioned, she speaks really well. She's one of those members I could really listen to. I love to hear when she talks.
So I forgot about that whole Miorina sketch, not sketch, series on YouTube.
Web show? Yeah, I watched all of them because of Shioka.
Yeah.
But I liked them too. They were good.
Yeah, I don't watch any of them. I think I watched the first one. But is that the one where they were playing ping pong?
Yeah. I thought it was a cool idea to have Miorine, she's pretty established as, a 48 Groups member, and then Yamarina, who's relatively unknown to the general fandom public, in a web show together. So that made me excited. It kind of made me think that they were ready to promote Yamarina to B2, to like stick her with Miorine and make the thing like a permanent duo. But it hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm. How about Ruderine? What do you think about her?
Dude, the Ikemen thing was awesome. Good job. Good job. I don't know, like to me, she's kind of strange, I guess. Like she doesn't stand out, but then once you pay attention to her, she seems kind of off, I guess.
I always thought there was like a gap between like the way she looks and the way she acts.
Yeah.
I don't like, you haven't seen Azumanga Daioh, right?
I have.
You have? Yeah, she reminds me of Sakaki-san.
Oh, yeah!
Right?
Yeah.
Plus, like, she can also sing Kono Sekai, and I'm like, alright, dude, you get props from me for being able to do that.
I can't believe you thought I haven't... I've actually read all of Azumanga.
Yeah, I read it like every other year, or every year, actually.
Really?
Yeah, in Japanese, and I'll read it, and I'll be like, hey, man, like, I can understand this joke now. And so I think I can understand every joke in that book now.
Oh, wow.
It's a good test of Japanese. But, no, it's pretty old, like 2003. That's why I'm not sure if you watched it.
Wow, I'm not that young.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, when I was your age, there was no internet, so... Anyway, and then, of course, we talked about Rachel in the last show. Next comments from Ziroshiki. He says, I'm not sure if Joe is referring to me, but my favorite Kenkyusei is Joe, although I'll talk about Natsu since she's adorable. There's a correction from the last show. I thought he was going to say Natsu.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say Natsu, too.
Yeah. Well,
I thought somebody would talk about Joe, but we're getting Natsus a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, what does Ziroshiki say?
Right. Natsu started out on really terrible footing with the fans when some two-shot event pics of her looking really uncomfortable with fans came out. This gave her a reputation as Shio Taio, a salty reaction, when it was only probably because she was 13 and didn't know what to do. She's gotten really good at handshakes nowadays, though. Natsu was only under ever for Haru ga Kurumade and did a really good job filling in for the idly Rinachi most of the time. Her uho I don't even know how to say that song.
It's uho uho.
Uho uho is pretty great too. She's improved the song where she is one of the preferred utters for the various teams. She also has a good singing voice. Check her thread on stage for a link to her singing Getsuyobi. Natsu is also Milky's new favorite plaything, and if they ever bring back Cho Idol Senbatsu, she's probably the top option to replace Kayla.
Oh my goodness gracious. She would be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we could say about Natsu.
Yeah. We don't really need to do Natsu as a featured member now, because you kind of know everything there is to know about Natsu.
Our friend Carrie went to get I think two shot, and he was really mad, or not mad, but like, "Arr," you know. But he was like
Disappointed.
yeah, because she was really salty. It's like, oh, sit down. What do you want? And I guess that's a good point. I mean, she's only 13, and like, it's like, hey, you're 13 now. Go meet all these old people.
Yeah.
And entertain them, and it's just like, oh man, that's tough. But it's good to know that she's gotten better.
Yeah, I'm glad. Next time, gonna get that handshake ticket with her.
All right. You want to read the next one?
Oh, okay. Well, we have a lot. Thanks, guys. Convenience says, my favorite Kenkyusei definitely has to be Ayateen, Morita Ayaka. Wow, this is a new one. I love how she is known to be the Yankee of the group as her character, but she always wears really girly clothes. She's fierce and cool, but if you see her G+ photos, you can really tell that she's not too different from regular Japanese girls. Her character is so strong, though, and I think it works really well with her. She also has great versatility, and I remember even with old Team M, whom she used to sub for Shimarena, even at her first debut, she was already talking and getting along so well with everyone. And she wasn't being drowned out by the rest of Team M's really strong, expressive characters either, which I found really impressive. Then she began subbing for current Team B2, and again, her report for the rest of the team was just amazing. Though of course she was reunited at some point with her former 4th gen Kenkyusei B2 members like Nagisa and Chihi. Yeah, that's true, she was, yeah. But I think she has lots of potential and seems to get along really well with literally everyone. Because of that, she strongly reminds me of Ainyan who is Fukumoto Aina. Oh no, I miss her. One of my former top favorites in NMB. They both have that reliable older sister feel to them, but sometimes I don't know if it's just me, but in certain photos I do see a bit of a physical resemblance. But anyway, Ayateen's sort of a member who would be able to adapt into any team without fading in the environment, and is still able to actively take part in MCs, which I think is important for an NMB member. I think she still has lots of room to grow, and I hope the best for her. Very good message. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I liked her Blue Rose. Because, like, she has these really... Like, her low range when she sings is really good, I think. Mm-hmm. And she was in that AKB49 musical. So...
Yeah, I think when it comes to performance, she's one of the best of the Kenkyusei.
Yeah.
Just like general, like, theater... Stage presence, that's the word.
Mm-hmm. And she's also been getting pretty close to Megumi. Like, they've been filming a lot of stuff. I think it's because they both hit... I think it was either 100 or 200 stage performances. I want to say 200. Like, they both hit it at the same time.
I thought you were going to say because they both hit puberty.
They're both old.
I know. Oh, speaking of that, oh shoot, what's the word? Forming pairs with other people. She also took a lot of photos with Joe. Like, she was one of the first ones that Joe got close to, right?
Yeah.
Like when Joe came back.
Yeah, and then when Joe had her birthday, which was really close to when she actually debuted with the Kenkyusei, it was Ayateen that wrote the letter to her. So, all right.
Okay, we have a new theme for the upcoming podcast. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be covered in the next episode because the next episode's kind of unique. But after that, we'll talk about it. And our new theme is, do you like the idea of new NMB centers?
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I just, one of my favorite songs, I don't even know what's my... one of the songs I like is the B-side to Oh My God when Milky was in that scandal, so they put Joe in as center.
Yeah, that was weird, though.
Why can't I remember? Oh, Hoshokutacha. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, just like the song. I think I say it's weird because the song had like this really mature feel to it, and they performed in these like long red cocktail dresses, and then the center is this 12-year-old girl. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of awkward.
But I thought the song was cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, so that's our theme.
That's our theme.
Send us comments, emails through all the regular channels that you should be familiar with now. And that'll wrap up Tegami Totande, so we'll move on to news.
News!
I didn't think there was a lot of news, and then a lot of things started happening.
Yeah, it always seems to be like that.
Like, one thing I want to start off with, and it's not even NMB related, is there's been a scandal in Nogizaka.
Well, you want to talk about that?
Kind of. there's been a scandal in Nogizaka. It's pretty big. They spotted some girl with some guy.
Matsumura Sayuri.
Yeah.
Sayuringo.
And like I don't know if you know, but Sayuringo actually auditioned for NMB and did not pass the first round. Or no, the first gen, and then she got picked up by Nogizaka. But one thing why that's kind of important is because that happened, like it excites like the 2CH like wannabe detectives. So then they start like trying to dig up dirt on all sorts of things, on all sorts of people. So now like I guess all the idol groups are a little bit more alert. For example, one thing that happened, and this is something I just realized like a couple hours ago on Twitter, thanks to Smilodon and Zeroshiki. They were talking about how somebody leaked Yuri's Instagram as like a private Instagram, and then they found from that they found like a lot of other people's Instagrams from NMB for like they're all private, so they already changed their thing, but it's just an example of how like people are starting to like really dig up stuff. So
yeah, but it always dies down too. Like there'll be like a big surge of it, and then all of a sudden people just kind of stop caring.
Yeah, but I mean now we're in that upswing because of the Nogizaka scandal.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So that's exciting stuff. Oh, I hear a siren.
Oh yeah. Well, I have to have my window open because it's hot. So.
I know.
Plus, I live near a hospital, so.
Oh, I thought it was going to be that ghetto life.
Well, if you want to think of me that way, then. Okay.
No, I can't think of you that way.
So we'll move on to talk about the 10th single. We've had some random comments by Aki on 755. For one, somebody asked him, "Hey, are you gonna make a Sai Milky song?" And he said, "Actually, I wrote a Sayonara song."
Do you know how upset and infuriated I am about that?
No, and I don't care.
It's been 4 years and there isn't a Saya Milky song. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, but come on, Nana works hard. Plus, she's better musically than Milky anyway.
Well, that's true, but she was with Sayane and Yui in the Dazai Osamu song.
Yeah.
Holy cow! What is that noise?
I don't know. Maybe a truck. Things getting exciting here. Anyway. So they had, and Dazai Osamu was actually really good, so why not put them together again?
But, since Nana already got a turn with the Sayane, why don't Milky? That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's some other interesting things, like we don't know what this song is.
Yeah.
Because they filmed, we already know they're going to do team songs. So, I don't know where they're going to put it.
Well, usually they do, like, 5 songs for a release, 5 or 6. So this could just be on, I don't know, one of the coupling tracks.
Yeah, but then that means they're either not getting a Kenkyusei song or they're not doing Teppo Tai or something like that.
Oh no, that's true.
So I don't know where they're gonna put it. Also regarding the 10th single, they asked Aki P, "Can you give me the letter of what it starts with?" And he said Ra, and then somebody said, and then he also said it ended with E. And
Ra E.
And I don't know if anybody really cares. I mean, it's good stuff. Like, oh, what is it going to be called? Like, la 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 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know, that's not a lot of hints.
Rasputin.
Yeah, lots of cars driving through my neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a neighborhood? I thought you lived, like on a street.
No.
Because it's so loud.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm surprised by the truck. Anyway, so that's some news. There's also some hype. I think Nana said it was her favorite song since Kita-ken. It has a very Kita-ken-ish vibe. People are saying that they had a lot of fun filming the video. They had lots of laughs. So there's some sort of hype.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Cool. Next in news. Speaking of filming, we talked about filming the music video, but there was also a filming in Tokyo with some NMB members, including Nana, Yuri, Nagi, Shu, Ripopo, Machun.
I put Machun, but yeah. She was supposed to be doing some filming as well. I put JK because I like
Joni's K?
Yeah. I like that nickname, JK, LOL.
Yeah. JK.
We can call Yuri Tansan and be all...
Yuri Tansan?
Yeah.
Be up to date on
I
the
know.
inside NMB jokes.
All right.
Anyway, so what was the rumor that this was a coupling song for AKB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people thought they were gonna be part of SMAP X SMAP, which is a variety show hosted by SMAP. And it's actually pretty popular. Well, I don't think it's gonna be that though. Man, what is with all these cars?
No, jeez. Close your window.
Then it gets hot. What am I gonna do?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the same car driving back and forth.
They're lost.
Um, yeah, so there's this filming in Tokyo. We're not really sure what it was. A lot of members were there. Who knows what it is?
So good fun, good fun.
Um, next,
We have
next in news, there was a purikura. What's the English equivalent?
the
The
sticky pics.
yeah, sticker.
Sticky pics.
When I see purikura, I always think of
Sticky
like película in Spanish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but somebody found one of Murakami Ayaka's old purikura and posted it, and
No reaction.
nobody cared. They're
Yeah.
like, I mean, one like they already found purikuras like dated later than that one, so it's like 2012, so they're like digging it up, but no reaction, no one cares, and
Yeah.
I guess they're like gonna sweep it under the rug now with
I don't
the
know, like her fans have tough skin anyway, because she's kind of mean to them sometimes.
yeah. Well, she's
So you
kind of
gotta-
weird anyway.
Yeah, so you got to be tough skinned to be a Ayaba fan.
Also, I heard she has lots of female fans,
Mm.
so I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Let's
But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
see. What else happened? Speaking of photos, Yuki-sun, Azuma Yuki from Team M, she's been posting a lot of photos on her Google Plus, and they're really nice photos. They're backstage from first they were backstage from the concert, the one that concluded their tour. That's what it was for. But she's posted some more, I think, since.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they're really nice photos, and they're backstage. So you see the girls, like some of them aren't wearing their makeup yet, some of them are, some of them are in the middle of doing their makeup, and it reminds me a lot of what Matsumura Kaori does with SKE, except Kautan goes around with a video camera instead of photos. So.
Yeah. I remember a long time ago on a Team M stage, they're talking about, at the very end, right? Because they don't do the high fives anymore. They're like, okay, let's do a topic, and then they said one of the topics was, let's develop characters for people. And so they're like, oh, who doesn't have a really strong character? And I think Yuki-tsun raised her hand, and they asked her, it's like, oh, so what are you good at? And she's like, well, I like photography. It's like, oh, maybe you could be a photography character. So I like how that's finally coming to light, because that MC was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been posting a lot of photos on Google Plus, like a lot, like 300 maybe, something ridiculous, and they look like they've been taken with a nice camera.
Yeah, they're really nice quality, good focus.
Yeah.
I don't know any photography terms, but they're nice to look at.
Well, they're a lot more crisp and detailed than like the normal cell phone pictures. So.
Have you seen my cell phone pictures? I have like an iTouch 4. It's like static picture. It's like you can see the pixels. Anyway, so that's cool. I'm excited for her.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because she's in the coupling song for Junken too, and now she's establishing or maybe establishing a photo character. So I hope this is like, an upward trend for her.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've liked Yuki-tsun for a while.
Me too. I've always liked her because she's really cute.
Yeah, I don't know. She's got that pudgy look to her.
Yeah.
But she's always had trouble, I guess, socializing. She started a series on her Google Plus, like getting better at MCs. But like, I don't know. I thought she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just kind of hard for her to fit in with all the loudness of.
Yeah, but she's like a good counterbalance.
Yeah.
Let's see what else happened this week. We had some Seitan Sais.
I didn't watch them yet though.
I didn't watch them either, but I heard Sararon's was nice. Yeah, so Take Sara and Odan Mai had their birthdays, and on I was going on the draft members Google Plus. By the way, if anybody else goes on that, do you agree that it's like all Ririka and then like one or two posts by other people? It's pretty much Riruka's Google Plus featuring Kanai and sometimes Coco-chan and Sarah.
Well, I heard
But
I heard the last one was or like for one of the days like there were it was a lot of Ririka because like I think the staff goes through her posts
oh, and
and
then they
then
all like approve them.
yeah, and I think one time like they got really lazy or they didn't do them all properly, so like on one day they released like six of them.
Okay, so that might have been it. Because it wasn't too far back. But anyway, so I was going on the draft members Google Plus, and Coco-chan posted a nice picture of her and Sarah, and they went out to eat. And she was like, "Oh, happy birthday, Sarah," and that was cute. I think out of all the members, Sarah is probably closest with Coco-chan, or not closest, but she's very close with Coco-chan. I see them in pictures together. When I went to the handshake event, their lanes happened to be next to each other, and they were talking to each other as I walked up. So I like that. I like the draft members interacting with each other. I think it's cute because they're all on the same struggle bus.
Yeah, I think a lot like all the draft members in general get along really well. I mean, obviously, Isokana and Coco-chan get along really well because they're on the same team.
Yeah,
And they're in the struggle.
they're the struggle.
The struggle.
The struggle is so real for them.
It sounds so hip hopish. I didn't watch the Seitan says. I did hear there was a section in Sararan where she shouted out to Shimarena and Kayla for drafting her, but then they cut it out of the archive because they don't want to mention graduated members. There was some talk on stage. I always thought it was because they don't want to get in trouble for talking about people that aren't signed by the company, and
I think that's it too.
yeah. So
Just for safety.
I should probably watch Maichi's though. I didn't watch Maichi's because I watched the, first of all, I'm really behind on stuff, but I also watched the Senshuraku for the Kenkyusei stage.
Oh,
So,
oh yeah, huh?
or the Senshuraku is the final performance, and there goes another car. But yeah, so I watched the final performance. It's actually pretty nice. There's a really good atmosphere because they're ending and stuff. One of the neat parts is for their double encore. They perform Sozo no Shijin, which is their song from
Oh,
the album,
yeah.
and it's actually really like people are calling it Kami Kyoku. Like
Really? That's the song I thought was super weird.
yeah. Well, I guess I need to go over the lyrics because the lyrics aren't posted anywhere for some reason, or they are just really in a non-copy paste format because Japanese sites are really protective of their lyrics.
Oh.
But there's a video I posted. There's a video I saw with Yuppie and Joe, and they were talking about their album. And I remember Joe said that the first time she heard that song, she cried. And
Wow.
the song is really good too. If you watch it, like a lot of the Kenkyusei are all teary eyed too. So you should probably check it out for Sozo no Shijin.
Yeah.
You should check it out. I'm talking to you
Oh.
personally.
Well, I listened to the song and I didn't like the song very much, to be honest. But I think watching them perform it might change my mind a bit.
It sounded like it was live, but I'm not sure. And I remember the Kenkyusei generally sound when they did I think it was an a cappella and piano performance for for Sunglasses, I think.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Sunglasses. That's my favorite Kenkyusei song.
Yeah, I think they did like a piano, like Natsu's on the piano, and then everybody else did a cappella, or they sang it in choir, and they sound pretty good. So it sounded like Sozo no Shijin was performed like live or semi-live or something. So that's something to look forward to.
Cool. What else happened this week? More weird stuff on. Well, it's not from 755, but it was Milky's birthday recently, and she got a present from a fan that raised some eyebrows. The fan sent her a PE uniform, and as many of you know, PE uniforms in Japan have pretty short shorts. So he sent her the shirt and a pair of bloomers that looked like a PE uniform, and it was kind of weird.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have covered it up, but Milky posted on her Google Plus, it's like, hey, look what I got from a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't expect them to even deliver that to her, but they did. Or maybe Milky asked oh, did you guys toss anything out? Like, what was it? And then I don't know. Like, I have this theory that they're like, oh, well, somebody sent you bloomers. And she's like, I want to see. So I wonder if that's what it really was. But she's kind of interesting to post something like that. She's funny.
Yeah, She's probably one of the only members that would do something like that.
Yeah.
And then what's this about her 755?
Because I would read translations of her 755 from a wonderful user on Tumblr who translates them. And that Tumblr user mentioned that a lot of the comments are really strange. Like people will ask her really weird or like sexual questions. Just like, why? Why? Like, because it seems like they're only directed at Milky, or maybe it's just because she's posting those ones.
Because she answers them.
Yeah, she answers them.
Yeah, maybe she likes responding and crushing their dreams or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't read the 755 stuff, so.
Well, that's one more thing she has in common with Kondo Rina. Then they're good BFFs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I guess our last bit of news is that, a lot of people were talking about Natsu's ramen thing on YNN.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, like, they announced that she was filming a bunch of new segments. So, one thing that I noticed was that somebody took pictures because they saw her at this place called Kinyu Ramen. It's a chain in Osaka. And there's one on Dotonbori, which is the how would you describe it? It's on the river. And so, like, you can get a table and, like, you sit on the floor. There's, like, tatami mats and stuff, and you can, like, face the river, and you can see all the people walking by and stuff. And so that's
very nice.
That's, like, their most famous, or one of their famous branches. So she went there. She went there with Ruripon, actually, so that should be really interesting. And I think they said she filmed another one with Udon, or Renapyeon. So.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Didn't you say you wanted to go to like a couple of them, but you didn't have time?
I did, yeah, because you helped me find the it was the one that she went to with, oh shoot, who did she go with? Naru. She went there with Koga Naru.
Yeah. I gave you directions and everything.
Yeah, and I didn't have an opportunity to go. Well, I'd already had lunch, and then I'd already had second lunch, so I was way too full to eat ramen. So I couldn't have gone even if I wanted to.
Yeah, well, those are my memories of Osaka, like running around trying to get all the foods that I liked before I left. That was not a good idea.
I know, that's what I was trying to do too, because we had okonomiyaki for lunch, and I was like, oh, but I gotta try takoyaki as long as I'm here. So I had a takoyaki-kun right outside the AKB theater, or not the AKB, the NMB theater, and it was really good, but I was really full, so I was like, oh no, here it comes. Yeah. So, good fun. I also had ice cream that day. Like, at the same time. That wasn't a good idea. I had ice cream every day in Japan. Listeners, if you ever go to Japan, eat as much ice cream as you can because it's so good.
You didn't get the shaved ice takoyaki, huh?
Dude, they have shaved ice takoyaki?
I didn't tell you my story?
No.
But, okay, well, I saw it somewhere on, like, AKB Chome Chome, and then last year when I went, I was like, oh, we gotta find the shaved ice takoyaki place. So I went there with my friend, and we were gonna order it, but like the only guy there's only one guy working the thing. It was like him in this really small like stand almost, and then like we're like, oh, can we get the shaved ice okonomiyaki? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, but it's gonna take a while. And like there's like this line forming behind us, and I was like, oh man, like I don't want to like cause him to lose business because he has to make the shaved ice takoyaki for us. So we passed on it. So like, oh no, it's okay. No one else is ordering it either. They just wanted takoyaki. And that was totally unrelated to news, but that'll wrap up our news section. So we'll move on to Okonomi Talk. This is our section where we just talk about whatever's on our mind. Hopefully NMB related. You want to start?
Sure. Well, I kind of mentioned mine, actually. What I wanted to talk about was how I've been checking out the Draft Members Google+. So I kind of already did my Okonomi Talkie for today. But yeah, check out the Drafty Google+ if you are interested in them. I don't know, like, the thing about like draft members and Kenkyusei and even like the unpopular members is that their Google+ accounts always seem to have really simple posts. Like they'll try and sound idolish, like, oh, please watch my performance, and like they'll end their posts like that. But then they'll post pictures of them like at the park, or like after school eating a piece of fruit or something. Like they're just like the most random daily life kind of photos sometimes. Not always, but I always like that. So I like to follow members who post really casual photos. It's
Um,
very very idols you can meet. Anyway, that's
well,
my
yeah,
Okonomitaki.
one thing that lately that's been being talked about is Ririka has actually not is not even scheduled for any Team N shows like recently. So people are wondering when she's gonna come back. She only did like a couple.
Yeah.
She had to abort the concert.
Oh, really?
Um, I think she performed in the first one, and then the second one she had the problem with her eye or something,
Mm-hmm.
so she had to be taken out. And I don't know if you checked our Tumblr, but I posted that Chuba won MVP. One of the reasons is because she had to learn multiple positions. One of the things that she had to learn that was like last minute was because Ririka backed out. She had to learn another
Oh.
position, so they gave her the MVP award.
Go Tubes. I
But
hope Eureka gets better, but
yeah,
the it doesn't like it's one of those things where it's like they say they're working hard, but are they really? Because it's like she took such a long time to debut. People started to talk about like, is she even trying? Does she even want to be in here?
really, like no, the impression was that like she's really far behind when it comes to like dancing and performing.
Oh well, that's true too. But I don't know. Like I like her, but I remember when the draft was happening and they did like a little interview with her. She's like, I want to stir up trouble in whatever group I get into. But she hasn't really caused any trouble yet. Besides forcing Chuba to learn a new position.
I don't know.
So
I think she has, but with her like actually one of the things I wanted to translate or subtitle was when she subbed in for Cameron or Kaneko. When at the team end stage, like after the Dogoto Ballerina song,
yeah.
and then he comes out like one time Ridika came out, and I thought her speech was actually really good, and I wanted to subtitle it, but I haven't had time. But I thought that was actually a pretty good speech. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. If you can't understand it, maybe one day I'll be able to translate it.
I'll look forward to it then.
Okay. My Okonomi talk is actually pretty funny. Or not really funny. It's really off topic and stuff. But there was a clip of Shu, and she's being interviewed by like Yoshimoto, and it's just a 30-second clip, and they asked her some questions like, "Oh, how are you doing today?" And one of the questions was, "What do you want to eat, like right now?" And I think she said like, "Oh, it's fall, so I want to get the oden from like 7-Eleven or something." And then one of the staff members asked her, "Okay, now what if somebody would pay for what you would eat? Where would you want to go?" And she's like, "I want to go to Jojo Inn." And Jojo Inn is a yakiniku chain, but it's also like a really high end one. So it's like going to like Ruth's Chris or something for steak.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Um, the funny story, like for me, I only know about Jojo Inn, right? Because I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I was in Tokyo and I was with my friend, and I was like, you know what, like it was my last day, and I was like, you know what, like I want to eat something like really really good. I want like really high quality yakiniku. And at the time, he didn't really know much about yakiniku. He's like really big into yakiniku now, but at the time, he's like, oh, let's go to this place. Let's go to Jojo Inn. And I was like, what's Jojo? And he's like, oh, it's a really high end chain with yakiniku. Like sometimes celebrities go there and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, let's check it out. So we made our reservation and we go at night, and we're dressed in like t-shirts and jeans and stuff. Like we're dressed like
These are some jeans.
yeah, we're dressed like bums. I think my friend had shorts on actually, but I don't wear shorts, so I know I'm wearing jeans. I always wear jeans, so I know I had jeans on. So we go in, and then like this lady in like the kimono or whatever like greets us, and all the waiters are like wearing suits. And we're like, huh. And so we sit down, and we had bags with us, so we put like our bags on the chair, and then like
Oh my gosh.
huh? What?
Just oh my gosh.
About what?
That you put your bags on the chair and stuff.
No, why not? Where are we supposed to put them?
Well, it just sounds so funny. It sounds like this is a fancy restaurant. People are all dressed up, and you come in like with backpacks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we put our backpacks like on where we were sitting, like on the other chair, and then the guy comes in and he brings his blanket and he covers like the thing, and we're like, oh man, like they want to protect the furniture and stuff. But really, like he put like the blanket over our thing because in case like any of the yakiniku like splashed like the oil, like
Oh.
they would be protecting our stuff, and I'm like, oh man, this place is too fancy. And so like we ended up getting the prefix course or the omakase course, And it was really good. Prior to that, I don't think my friend really had like high end yakiniku. So like everything we ate, he's like, "Oh my god, this is like the best beef I ever had." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy." So um, that was my first like really high end experience in Japan as far as food. Uh, and I just thought it's funny that she mentioned it. I was like, "Oh man, those are my memories of JoJo." So it has nothing at all to do with NMB. It's a lot more lighthearted compared to some of the other topics we had. So that's my Okonomi talk.
Okonomi talk.
Yeah, let's go to JoJo.
Dude, yes. Gastronomy senpai.
Yeah.
Teach me the ways of good food.
And we'll come in t-shirts and shorts. Okay, that'll wrap up that. You want to introduce the next section?
Sure. Next, we will move on to our Kininaru section, or our featured member. And this week's member is Konosaki, or Saki P. She's 20 years old, she's from Hiroshima, and she's on Team N. Oh, she's the third generation member, though, so she was originally promoted to Team B2, and then got shuffled to Team N. So, that's a quick rundown of Saki P. Her nickname is so weird to say.
Oh, yeah.
For like an English speaker?
Yeah. For me, the worst is always Yuppie.
Yuppie, oh, yeah.
And then her intro where she says pee-pee, and I was like, hee.
I know, I said the same thing, I'm like,
It's so awkward. Anyway, so she has been really into idols since kindergarten. She's a big fan of Morning Musume. And because of that, she wanted to become an idol. She auditioned for SK and HKT.
And failed.
And failed out of those. She is part of a local idol group in Hiroshima called Make Palette, but it's very, very brief. She left. This is the same year that she actually joined NMB, but earlier that year she was in this idol group, and I don't think she did much with it. So she applied for 3rd gen. She got in as 3rd gen. She made it into Shonichi, and there's a time when they had all the teams like tour all the other theaters. So like SKE's theater and AKB theater, and she was selected for the 3rd gen team back when there was no B2 yet. And then she was promoted to B2. Yeah, she's promoted to B2 like as part of the rest of the 3rd gen. So there was no like waiting period for her to get in.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean.
That's her history.
Yeah, now she's in Team N. She got transferred in the Daisokaku, so. That's it. That's where she is.
That's some Konosaki.
Yeah, she doesn't have a very rich history, I guess.
Nah.
I do know, because I mentioned that she's a fan of Morning Musume, and one of the MCs where Yukiden was present, because everyone knows Yukiden's a big idol fan. I think they said they were going to go watch somebody's, I think, Michi Chige? I don't know. I don't know too much about Morning Musume, but I think that she said that she was going to watch her graduation concert with Yukiden, so.
Oh, cool.
And there's not, like, I can go find it. There's only 2 Yukiden MCs. Because she's only been in 2 theater shows, so.
That Yukiden.
So they got that bond going on.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go into some, like, trivia and the cool stuff about Saki P. So, like we said, she's from Hiroshima, so she's really proud of being from Hiroshima. And I kind of get it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody else in NMB from Hiroshima.
There is.
Oh, yeah, there is. There's one more person, isn't there?
Apon
is also from Hiroshima. I knew there was... Sorry. Anyway, so she's really proud of being from Hiroshima. She speaks in Hiroshima Ben, so the dialect of Hiroshima. And her favorite food is momiji manju, and she used to take them to stages. And momiji manju are like these little... Well, they're manju, so they're like little cakes filled with things like red bean paste traditionally, or cream, or chocolate, or whatever. And you can only get them in Hiroshima. They're in the shape of a maple leaf, which is why they're so special Hiroshima.
Yeah, momiji is Japanese for maple leaf, so.
Japanese maple leaf. I should have said that.
It also looks like a pot leaf sometimes.
Oh, it does.
So people are like, "Hey, man, what are you giving me?"
I had momiji manju when I went to Hiroshima. They were really good. My favorite was the one that was filled with cream cheese, which were really good.
You went to Miyajima, right?
Yeah.
Did you get the fried one there?
There's a fried one?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't get the fried one.
Oh no.
just got the normal one. I got the eel though that you told me to
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
I also got you know how there's Butamon and Nikuman?
yeah.
They had Anagomon. It was like it was the steamed bun filled with anago or with the
Yeah,
eel.
that seems interesting.
It was not good. I was very sad.
Anyway, but back to Saki P.
Sorry, Hiroshima's cool, I guess. But yeah, she's really proud of it. She's a really big Hiroshima Carp fan because that's their baseball team. So her Jonkin outfit was a Hiroshima Carp outfit.
Yeah, I remember when she did the skit with B2 at third anniversary. She like stood and she's like, yeah, like for one of the intros, she's like, yeah, we beat like the Tigers today, and I was like, man, dude, that takes a lot of guts to say because you're standing in Osaka, like bragging about your team when people in the audience are probably Tigers fans.
Yeah, and some people take baseball like super seriously.
Yeah, like Chihi, Kinoshita Haruna, and Shio are the big baseball fans.
Oh, okay.
So luckily, Sakipi's not in B2. Or not anymore, I guess.
Yeah. She's also really into video games.
Yeah.
Like her dreams to work for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So.
And the banner on her Google Plus used to be a picture of Kirby from also another Nintendo property.
And she would make posts about Pokemon, which I did not know.
Yeah, she would write about like what's going on in the game she's playing. So Pokemon. I remember like one of her posts was like, "Yeah, dude, I like it when you get like an underleveled Pokemon and like you beat up like a high level Pokemon and it gains like all these levels."
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I think I posted a reply. I'm like, "Oh, watch out for your what is it called? Your EVs, because your EVs don't level up like that." But that's some advanced Pokemon stuff.
But they do. You just got schooled in Pokemon, bro.
No, they don't level up EVs.
Oh, EVs. I thought you meant like Eevee the Pokemon, not effort values.
Oh, no, effort values.
Yeah, but now they do effort values. If you use EXP share, they get effort values too in Gen 6.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? So they made Gen 6 really easy.
But depending on how it is, like, you could accidentally give them EVs that you don't want. But anyway, that's some advanced Pokemon stuff.
I never really EV trained.
I did it once and I got tired. I was like, this game sucks.
It's mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
Then there's IV training. I'm like, what is this? Anyway.
No, it's not training, it's breeding. And
breeding,
it took me like an entire day to breed like a 4 IV perfect something. I forget.
Dude, there's people who get like 5 IV shinies with. I'm just like, what are you doing with your life?
I really like that Pokemon. Anyway, speaking of Pokemon, Saki P was also called Kiramatsu, which is Froakie.
If you don't know who Froakie is, Google him.
Yeah, he's Pokemon XY, the water starter.
Yep.
And
he's ugly.
Yeah. Well, geez.
Well, if you're used to Gen 1 Pokemon and you're gonna compare him to Squirtle, he's pretty ugly. Yeah, well, but he's cute and charming in his own unique way.
And his evolved form is in Smash Brothers, so.
Yeah, Greninja's cool.
But anyway, Shu called her Kiramatsu because she's like, "Oh man, you look like a frog Pokemon," and she didn't know what the frog Pokemon was, right? So she said she asked some kids like, "Oh, which one's the frog Pokemon?" They're like, "Oh, it's Kiramatsu," but Kiramatsu's kind of like ugly. So then like Saki P got like, "Hey, stop that, haha." She like was kind of proud of it. There was that video of old B2 doing Team B Oshi. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like Saki P had a sign of like her drawing Kiramatsu, and she's like, "Yeah." So
that's funny. I think she looks more like a Politoed, which is also another frog Pokemon. Because she has those cheeks, and Politoed has those like cheek patches, and the weird big smile. Anyway,
I don't remember which one Politoed is.
Oh, Misty had a Politoed.
I keep thinking of Poliwhirl and stuff. Is it the same one?
Oh, Misty got a Politoed. It was Generation 2 with Johto. It was like the green one.
Okay, I don't know Generation 2 that well. Anyway,
okay.
We keep talking about Pokemon.
Well, because Pokemon's fun to talk about. Anyway, back to Saki P. She's really smart. I mean, she could probably have a successful career with Nintendo already if she was not an idol. I mean, I bet. I believe in her.
Yeah. They said she was good enough to get into Tokyo University, Todai, which is pretty hard. It's the best ranked university in the nation. Um,
It's like getting into Harvard,
yeah.
but in Japan. But I thought they said that she did get it and she turned them down.
I don't know. If she turned it down, I feel like people would be really mad.
Yeah, because people like dream about it. But I don't know. I read that a couple times that she turned it down and not just she's good enough to be in it. So we will have to research that
Yeah.
and correct for next show.
Yeah. Which.
But yeah, she's also, which will be in a while from now.
Yeah. But.
But yeah,
ahead.
she's been in quiz shows. Sorry, she's been in quiz shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So like there would be these quiz shows where they get like a bunch of smart celebrities and they ask them questions and stuff. So like what does this kanji mean and whatnot. And so she's been there, and that's actually like one of those rare times she's on TV because she's actually not that popular. But we'll get into that. For the Tadaima Renaichu of old B2, she used to do the MC portion after the Kikyo unit. So it was her, Honori, and Mako, I think.
Yeah.
And she'd be like the one leading, and she'd always do these quiz games. When we mentioned the Momiji Manjus, because like they had like briefcases in the performance, and she'd put Momiji Manju in those briefcases, and she'd just like bring them out. It's like, oh, and she'd go to the crowd, it's like, hey, you want one? It's like, oh, too bad. And then she'd put it back in the briefcase. But she usually do these quizzes, so like they would try and like figure out what something meant in English, or she'd write some crazy kanji and say like, what does this mean, or how is it pronounced? So I think she was trying to build up that intellectual character. It's kind of lost now, but that's how I remember her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Saki P. I don't think her intellectual character is like totally lost, but she doesn't really have a chance to show it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like she's dumb now. She's still smart, but she can't like show it off. So yeah, that was one of her big claim to fame. But her biggest claim to fame was after the first Sosenkyo, when she did a small TV special about
her first Sosenkyo, not the first Sosenkyo.
So yeah, sorry, hers. Yeah. So I guess that was probably like the third or fourth. Anyway, yeah, it was a TV special with like I was talking about her and her family, her mom, and how her mom wasn't really supportive of her becoming an idol, and that she would have preferred if Saki P had concentrated on school, and so yeah, it was like a little drama.
Yeah, and it's pretty sad because obviously she didn't rank. She's probably really far from ranking. She's actually one of the least popular members in the entire group. I think she's down there with like Chuba.
Yeah, it's sad.
Who, I mean, they're probably less popular than Kenkise, like a lot of the Kenkise, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, life's hard.
Life is hard. The struggle.
She can also play piano. She can play bass. She had posted a few videos of her on Google Plus playing the piano. And one thing that kind of made me sad is that like she is now known for playing the piano, right? Because she did that Genkai Toppa thing, and she also performed at a concert. And I was like, man, like, Saki P can also play the piano. Like, why don't they use that?
Yeah.
And I don't think... I think she played bass when they performed the acoustic version of Almond Croissant. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Really? I thought that performance was horrible.
I know it was good because they were all so into it.
Yeah, but like musically it was just bad.
Yeah, but didn't you have like the feelings of pride that a parent feels when they hear their child singing a solo in the school play in the 4th grade, and it's terrible, but you're just so proud of them?
At first, yeah, and then I realized this is like the big leagues. You can't be doing that.
No, it's 4th grade.
So that's it for trivia. She actually doesn't do a lot, which, again, I guess that goes to the territory of being unpopular. So like for example, her first music video was Densha no Oriru, which is the Team N song from
the latest album.
Yeah, so that's her. Yeah. Like she's been there for like what 2 years now, and that was her first music video. I'm like, man, like not selected for Shirogumi, Akagumi, Teppotai. Yeah,
that bites. That's worse than the SKE Kenkyusei. No, wait, no, just kidding. They still haven't had one.
Well,
But it's really bad.
it sucks, but at the same time, she's really happy that she's finally able to be in one. So, I mean,
Yeah.
glass.
But she's in like the back corner. I'm like, oh no.
Glass half empty versus half full.
Yeah.
She also finally got on YNN. So they're actually broadcasting her TV show, or whatever. They're broadcasting her on YNN, and she's with Sararan, Anchu, and JK.
JK.
Yeah, so the first episode was a while ago. I think Anchi wanted to assist with like the dolphin show or something, or she just wanted to go to the aquarium. Like I know Nagisa did it in Genkai Toppa, but yeah, so she did. Anchi did that, and then I think this week they went to they made a cake, and I heard it was really funny. So I've yet to watch it, but that's all she's been up to lately. Not a lot. I mean, we try to like expound on unpopular members, but sometimes they don't have anything to do.
Yeah, but now at least you know something about her.
Yeah, she doesn't have a radio show, huh?
Nope.
No.
But I think she's been on the radio, right? Like.
Yeah. Well, they've all been on the radio.
What is it? Well, yeah.
Yeah, the Jungle Radio I think has 3 teams. I'm trying to figure out, like, I know one of them is Ueda Mide and Anton. The other one of them is Odan Mai and Terui Honoka or something. Yeah.
But so is Jungle Radio just like taking the really unpopular girls and trying to give them something?
Kind of. I mean, that's what it was. That's how it started out as.
Just making sure.
Yeah, but I think there are 3 different teams, and they all have one show like during the week. I forgot what the other one. I know it's Yumin and somebody else, but I forget who. Anyway, they don't even give Sakipi Jungle Radio, so.
Oh, poor Sakipi.
So tough life, and that's how we're gonna end our Kininari section. And that's it for the show. All right.
That's it.
Not much.
I know, we're so sad. Next week's episode. Should we make it a surprise?
No.
Oh. Okay, no surprise then. Next week's episode is going to be a bit unusual because Joe is leaving for Japan tomorrow, as we mentioned. So we recorded next week's episode 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And it will be an introduction to idol groups and to NMB, but mostly just NMB. So it's kind of more geared towards people who have no idea what we're talking about, like our friends who are like, oh, you do a podcast? Let me hear. And I'm like, haha, nah. So now I can be like, oh, listen to this, and now maybe you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
or they'll be scared of us forever.
Yeah, that too. But so we won't blame you if you don't want to listen to it. We didn't really ask any thought-provoking questions or anything. But if you want some like really simple history on NMB, or if you're kind of shaky on what's going on with AKB, go for it. Or if you just want to hear my lovely voice, and Joe's too.
My voice is terrible. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, well, it was really early and we were really tired. I was proud of that episode. I think I didn't stutter as much in that episode as I do usually. So I was really proud. I'm like, oh, I'm getting better at this talking thing. And then this episode, I'm like, nope, just kidding.
Maybe because we were really tired.
Yeah,
in the morning, we're like, oh, too tired to stutter. Just keep going. So that's what we have for next week. The week after, we don't have anything. So break time for us. And then after that, I'll be back from Japan, so we'll have a lot of stuff to cover. I'll probably do some sort of like Tumblr update regarding like general news, so in lieu of recording the podcast. And that's it.
Don't miss us too much.
That's it. I mean, you don't use your Twitter, so they'll miss you.
I think I deleted it.
Well, that was short. That was short-lived.
I didn't like it. It was hard to use. I should have given it a better chance. Maybe I'll make it again.
And MC Sadaran was going ham on Neopets topics today.
Dude, Neopets! Dude, Sadaran!
Look what you missed out on.
No, I should be on Twitter. Dude, my phone is too old to handle it. I tried downloading the Gmail app for my phone, and it's like, oh, sorry, you need iOS 7 or later. I'm like, well, great. Now I can't do anything on my phone. It's not even a phone. It's an iTouch. So I'm thinking I should get a smartphone.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my story.
So our theme is, what do you think of the new centers?
Which are Fuko and Shiroma Miru.
And how do you feel? And how do you feel about non-Sayamiruki centers? So just send us messages on their comments and stuff. And
we didn't say how we feel, but I think you probably know.
Well, from the last podcast, I think I said that I liked it because it opens up the door for.
Oh yeah, how you did.
And I think I also said that regardless of how it turns out, like it'll be an interesting experiment. If it doesn't work, they can always go back to the Sayamiruki. So.
Heck yeah.
It's like the right time for them to experiment, I think.
It is.
So yeah, that's the end of the Takoyaki party. Everyone was dispersed before the cops come and shut us down.
Party is over. Party is over. Okay, I really hope somebody gets that.
I didn't get it. That was really,
nobody's gonna get that. Oh, you got it?
No, I didn't get it. That was really awkward.
Oh, well, because there was an AKB song called Party is Over, so Takoyaki Party is over. Party is over. Dude, I wish we could play that without getting copyright violated. That would be the perfect thing to end our podcast with. A clip of Party is Over.
I mean, to be honest, like, our audience is so small that, like, we could probably use it anyway, but...
Party is... We could just sing it. Party is over.
It just sounds bad. Okay, well, the party is over. I'm Osaka-cho.
I'm DJ Soy Milk.
And we wish you a good day, evening, night thing.
Week.
Yeah. Alright. Signing out.
Signing out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.